Original post, she mocked. I can't believe you're crying over a DM, after I found her flirting with her ex. I said you are right. I should be celebrating my freedom. She cried a lot more when I posted my breakup with a picture of her sister on my arm. I'm not the type to cry easily. Not over work stress. Not over money. Not even when I lost my dad unexpectedly 2 years ago. But a few nights ago, I cried over a damn demand. The person I loved most in this world looked me in the eye and laughed. Let me start from the top. My girlfriend, Kara, fake name, and I have been together for nearly 3 years. We met in college, dated through graduation, moved in together last year. She's funny, outgoing, a little chaotic, but charming in that effortlessly magnetic way. I've always been the quieter one, more stable, low-key, maybe even a little boring compared to her. But I loved her. God, I loved her. I thought we were building something real. A few weeks ago, I noticed Kara had been spending more time on her phone. Late at night, scrolling, smiling at messages she'd quickly swipe away if I got near. I didn't want to be that guy, jealous, insecure, paranoid, so I brushed it off. Told myself I was overthinking, but the pit in my stomach kept growing. The kind you only get when your gut knows what your heart refuses to believe. One night, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed. I glanced at the screen and saw the name. Jared, her ex from college. The one she once told me was toxic and immature, and completely out of her life. My hands were shaking as I unlocked her phone. I know I shouldn't have. I know that's a violation of trust, but trust was already slipping through my fingers like water. And I needed to know what I was drowning in. What I found wasn't physical cheating, but it wasn't innocent either. Flirty messages, inside jokes, throwback references to remember when we used to sneak around, and you always knew how to get me in trouble. Stuff you don't send someone unless you're still trying to keep a door cracked open. I screenshotted everything. Then I sat there, waiting for her to come out of the bathroom, heart pounding like it was trying to escape my chest. When she did, I calmly asked her to sit down. I told her what I saw, showed her the messages, told her how much it hurt, that it felt like betrayal, that it was betrayal. And she laughed. She actually laughed. Then said, I can't believe you're crying over a DM. That sentence will live in my brain forever. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't accusing. I was hurting. And she acted like I was pathetic for it. She followed it up with some garbage about how it wasn't physical. And you're being dramatic. And it's not like I met up with him. Then she went into full gaslight mode. You're just insecure. I can't talk to friends now. Maybe if you weren't so sensitive, I wouldn't have to keep things from you. I didn't know what to say, so I didn't say much at all. The next few days were a blur. She acted like nothing happened. I, on the other hand, felt like I'd been gutted and stitched up with barbed wire. I didn't sleep much. I didn't eat much. I started taking longer walks at night just to get away from her energy. Her complete lack of remorse. That's when I started emotionally checking out. I stopped asking where she was going. I stopped sharing details about my day. I just started preparing to leave. Quietly, without a scene. Without giving her the drama she probably wanted. And that's when I started noticing something strange. Her younger sister, Emily, started dropping by more. At first, just to pick up something or say hi. But then she'd linger. Ask me if I was okay. Tell me Kara had been acting off lately, even with her. One night she even said, you don't deserve how she talks to you. You're a good guy. It was the first time in days someone had looked at me like I mattered. I didn't make a move. Nothing inappropriate happened. But her kindness stayed with me. The way she looked me in the eye when she talked. The way she didn't try to minimize my pain. It was grounding. Eventually, Kara noticed I wasn't groveling anymore. That I wasn't begging for her attention. She made a snide comment about how I was being cold and boring lately. I wanted to laugh. The irony of her calling me cold after what she did. So I just nodded and said, you're right. I've been thinking a lot. About what I want, about who I want to be around. She raised an eyebrow, all cocky. Yeah, and what did you decide? I looked her dead in the eye and said that I shouldn't be crying. I should be celebrating. She didn't understand what I meant at the time. But she will. She will. Update 1. It's been a little over 2 weeks since I found the DMS between Kara and her ex. And since she mocked me for reacting like a human being. I didn't post earlier because, honestly, I wanted to move in silence. No drama, no breakdowns, just peace and clarity. Spoiler, I got both. After that night, I stopped arguing with her. I stopped questioning her. Stopped checking her location. Stopped asking who she was texting. Stopped looking for signs of something more. Because I already had all the signs I needed. What I didn't do was confront her again. That's what she expected, another outburst. More emotion. More begging. I think she wanted to feel powerful, to watch me unravel so she could play the victim. Instead, I gave her the one thing she couldn't handle. Silence. I started sleeping on the couch, telling her I didn't want to toss and turn and keep her up. She barely blinked, kept living her life like nothing had happened, still out with friends late. Still giggling at her phone like a teenager in the honeymoon stage of a relationship I wasn't part of. She thought I was weak. She mistook my calm for defeat, and that's how I knew I'd already won. A week later, I told her we needed to talk. She sat down, probably expecting an apology or another emotional conversation. Instead, I told her flat out, I'm done, I'm not happy, I don't trust you, and I don't think you respect me. This relationship's over. She blinked, stunned. You're breaking up with me? Yes, because of some messages. I looked her dead in the eye and said, no, because of what those messages revealed. About who you are, and who I don't want to be with anymore. She sputtered out some half-hearted excuses. Something about how it wasn't serious and you're being cold, but I didn't bite. I wasn't there to convince her of anything. I just handed her a key to my storage unit and told her to move her things there by the end of the week, and then I walked out. I stayed at a friend's place for a few days, while I got my own apartment in order. She texted me a few times, not emotional texts, just short ones like, so this is really happening, and are you serious? I didn't reply. There was nothing left to say. It was weird how quiet my life became after that. Peaceful, steady, a little lonely, sure, but not in a painful way. More like quiet after a storm. But here's where the story takes a turn. A few days after I moved out, Emily, Kara's sister, reached out. She had some of my mail in her car. She said Kara had accidentally taken it when she was grabbing her things. We agreed to meet at a small cafe nearby. She handed me the mail, asked how I was doing. I gave her the polite answer, better, thanks. She didn't buy it. You don't have to lie. I saw what she was doing even before you did. I looked up. What do you mean? Emily hesitated, then said, she's always been like that. She needs constant attention. She flirts with drama like it's a game. But you were safe. And she doesn't value safe. But I always thought that was her loss. That conversation hit different. After that, we started texting here and there. Just casual stuff, memes, random articles, venting about family. Nothing flirty, nothing inappropriate. Just connection, the real kind. A week later, we met again, this time for dinner. As friends, no hidden intentions. But sitting across from Emily, I realized something strange. I wasn't thinking about Kara anymore. I wasn't comparing. I wasn't angry. I just felt seen, understood, at ease. That dinner turned into a few more. A movie night, a hike, a lazy Sunday spent drinking coffee and talking about life. Still, no lines crossed, no guilt, no secrets. But then came the photo. It was just a candid. We were at a friend's rooftop party, golden hour lighting, skyline in the background. Someone snapped a picture of us laughing. Emily had her hand casually resting on my arm. We looked happy. We were happy. She asked if she could post it. I said yes, but I took a copy too and posted it myself. Captioned, healing looks good on me. The internet did what it does. Mutuals noticed. People started whispering. Kara noticed. Within an hour, my phone blew up. First it was a missed call, then another, then a barrage of texts. Are you serious right now? My sister, WTF is wrong with you? You're disgusting. You clearly never cared about me. This is so beyond low. And then, my personal favorite. I hope you realize what kind of damage you're doing. You've completely betrayed me. That one made me laugh. I finally replied with a single line. You said it was just Deems. This is just a picture. No response after that. Radio silence. I did hear from Emily though. Kara had called her in tears, accusing her of being a traitor and rubbing it in her face. Emily asked me if she had made a mistake by getting close to me. I told her the truth. No, you've been the most honest, consistent person in this whole thing. She smiled, then let them talk. So now, here we are. No, Emily and I aren't officially dating yet. We're still feeling it out. Trying to make sure this isn't just post-breakup confusion or shared trauma. But it doesn't feel confusing. It feels like something real. Something slow, something honest. Kara, meanwhile, has been posting vague, sad quotes on her story. You never know what you have until it's gone. Some people move on too fast. And the ultimate classic, loyalty is rare. You know what else is rare? Accountability. Anyway, that's my update. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I didn't throw accusations or play games. I just left, found peace, reclaimed myself. And yeah, maybe I found something or something better in the wreckage. All I know is, I'm not crying anymore. I'm smiling, and Kara, she's finally feeling what it's like to be on the other side of indifference. Update to you, ever watch someone trip over their own lies? So badly they don't even realize when the fall turns into a full-on freefall. That's Kara right now. After that photo of Emily and me went up with the caption, "Healing looks good on me," things spiraled faster than I expected. I didn't post it for drama, I posted it because I genuinely felt better. I'd finally found some clarity and was with someone who treated me like I mattered. But Kara, she went nuclear. The moment she saw it, she started texting everyone in her orbit with one version of the story. He cheated on me with my sister. He was probably sleeping with her the whole time. They'd been sneaking around behind my back. Who does that to family? At first, some people bought it. A few mutual friends messaged me, confused, even angry. But I didn't panic. I didn't defend myself with words. I used screenshots. Because when you spend years gaslighting someone, you tend to forget just how much they remember. I compiled every message Kara had sent me after I found the DMS. The laughing, the dismissal, the "you're being dramatic" texts. The night she told me, it was just flirting. It didn't mean anything. And then I dropped them, privately, to the people who mattered, mutuals, close friends, even a few of her family members who were being fed lies. I didn't need to scream. The truth did the talking for me. One by one, the responses started changing. "Wow, she didn't tell us all this. You really tried to handle it maturely. Huh, I'm sorry, man, I had no idea." Turns out, when the person yelling betrayal is the same person who thought flirting with her ex was harmless, sympathy runs out quick. That's when things got really messy. Kara's parents found out. Emily told me her mum called a family dinner and sat both daughters down. Apparently, it started as a full-on intervention. Kara came in crying, painting herself as the victim, saying I was cruel and that Emily stole me out of spite. But halfway through, Emily cool as ever said, "If he was so disposable, why are you this upset? You laughed when he cried. You said it was just DMs. Why are pictures suddenly worse?" Then she told them everything. About the emotional cheating. About how Kara had flirted with her ex and dismissed me. About how I'd been calm and kind through it all. And finally, about how I never pursued anything with Emily. It was she who reached out, because she saw someone who deserved better. Their parents were stunned. Their dad apparently said, "We're not proud of either of you right now, but one of you at least seems to know what honesty looks like." Yeah, the house was split down the middle. Emily stayed with her aunt for a few days after that, just to clear her head. And me, I kept living, peacefully, until Kara showed up at my apartment. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. Hair a mess, mascara smudged, hoodie 2 sizes too big. She stood in my doorway for a solid 10 seconds before saying, "I'm sorry, I didn't invite her in." She kept going, rambling, saying she'd messed up, that she was confused, that she didn't mean to hurt me. She said things between her and her ex were just stupid nostalgia, and that she didn't realize what she had until it was gone. I stood there, listening, quiet, letting her pour out all the apologies I used to cry for. And then I said, "I was confused too until I realized being disrespected isn't love." Her eyes welled up instantly. "You don't mean that." "I do. You're really choosing her." "My sister? No, I'm choosing me. She just happened to treat me like I was worth something." That shut her up. She left without another word and I haven't seen her in person since. But online, oh, she's loud. She's gone full sad girl era. Her Instagram is a highlight reel of cryptic quotes and heavily filtered selfies with captions like, "I guess loyalty isn't mutual. Forgiveness is for the strong. Silence is for the healed. Just wait. Karma always comes back around." Which is wild, considering karma already did come back around to her. But you know what's really poetic? A few days after all this went down, Emily invited me to a friend's wedding. Just a +1 thing. Low-key, she asked if I'd be okay with it being a public outing, because her ex would be there, and it might stir things up. I told her I didn't care about the noise. Not anymore. We went. She wore navy blue. I wore charcoal gray. And for the first time in months, I felt like I was standing next to someone who chose me in the open, not someone who kept me hidden behind. It's not that serious. And you're overreacting. The wedding photographer caught a moment of us slow dancing, just one hand on her waist, her eyes closed, my forehead against hers. It ended up on the event's public gallery, and once again, social media did its thing. People messaged me saying we looked peaceful, beautiful, real. Even strangers commented under the photographer's post. But what mattered most, Kara saw it. How do I know? Because right after it went up, Emily got a text from her. You really couldn't wait, huh? You really had to rub it in my face. Like this. You'll regret this one day. Emily replied with one sentence. No, I'm just not ashamed of happiness. I don't know if they'll ever fully repair their relationship. Honestly, I doubt it. But I'm not in that equation anymore. I'm not their battleground. I'm just a guy who walked away when he realized he deserved better, and got exactly that. Now, for those wondering if I feel guilty, I'll be honest, I did. For a while, not for leaving Kareth. Choice was long overdue, but for falling for her sister. It felt like walking into a landmine, even if I didn't light the fuse. But Emily made one thing clear. She wasn't rescuing me. I wasn't a rebound. And she wasn't acting out of spite. She just saw someone hurting. Someone honest. Someone she respected. And she acted on that. We've talked about it a lot. About how people might judge us. About how complicated it looks from the outside. But the truth is simple. I didn't cheat. I didn't lie. I didn't manipulate. I just stopped loving someone who didn't respect me, and started trusting someone who did. And now, I sleep better. I smile more. I'm not walking on eggshells or second-guessing my worth. I'm not being told that my feelings are too much. Because they're not. They never were. Asterisk. Final update's been about 6 months since I last posted. A lot has happened. I've had time to heal, reflect, and figure out what truly matters. The story I shared here before, the betrayal, the breakup, the fallout, it's all part of my past now. I'm no longer that guy who sat at home late at night scrolling through DMs that cut like knives. I'm not the guy who got mocked for feeling hurt. And I'm definitely not the guy who let someone else's disrespect define his worth. Because today, I'm better. I'm with Emily, the sister I mentioned. We've taken things slow, steady, and honest. There's no rush, no drama, no need to prove anything to anyone. Our relationship isn't some headline or social media spectacle. It's quiet, real, and beautiful in ways I never expected. What I didn't say beforehand, what I want to make clear now is how much I've grown through all this. I've learned to set boundaries, to say no when something doesn't feel right, to walk away even when it's hard, because self-respect isn't negotiable. I've learned that emotional neglect and gaslighting aren't just relationship problems. They're red flags, flashing bright and loud, and ignoring them only leads to pain. Emily showed me what it means to be seen and heard, not just tolerated or laughed at. And that changed everything. But growth isn't just about finding someone new, it's about becoming someone new yourself. I'm more confident now, more patient, more willing to hold space for my own feelings and to demand the same from others. And as for Kara, she reached out once more. A simple text. No anger, no accusations, just a quiet, "Can we talk?" I didn't reply, because I don't need to. I've outgrown that chapter. There's peace in silence. There's power in walking away. I wanted to share this update, not to brag or gloat, but to remind anyone out there hurting because someone they loved didn't treat them right. You deserve better. You deserve respect. You deserve honesty and kindness. And if you're not getting those things, it's okay to leave. It's okay to grieve, but it's also okay, necessary, even to move forward. Our emotional health is not something to bargain with. I'm grateful for the kindness Emily showed me when I needed it most. I'm grateful for the hard lessons that led me here. And I'm grateful for the strength I found inside myself when I realized my feelings mattered. If you're reading this and struggling with betrayal, mockery, or loneliness, please know this. Healing is possible. Freedom from toxic love is possible, and peace. It's waiting on the other side. So here's how it ends for me. She cried when I found the DMIs. She cried harder when I left. But she completely broke down when she realized I was never coming back. Thanks for listening, Reddit. I hope my story helps someone out there find their own strength.